Modern pharmaceutical manufacturing produces millions of life-saving doses every day, relying entirely on a hidden architecture of digital systems to control every variable. To guarantee that these systems function exactly as intended without fail, the industry relies on computer system validation, or CSV. CSV is the documented proof that a computer-based system strictly complies with regulatory standards. This validation process covers the software code, the physical hardware it runs on, and the integrated network that connects them together. Operating within Good Manufacturing Practice, or GXP guidelines, pharmaceutical companies must establish a baseline regulatory environment where every automated action is tracked and verified. A failed or incomplete validation process leaves a facility vulnerable to critical errors, leading directly to data loss, regulatory noncompliance, and severe product recalls. Documented validation is the recognized barrier standing between an undetected software anomaly and catastrophic patient harm. The primary purpose of validating these systems is to guarantee they produce results that are mathematically accurate and entirely reliable, batch after batch. Validation locks the system down, establishing strict security measures to prevent unauthorized changes and catch operational errors before they propagate. Maintaining this level of strict documentation directly supports audit readiness, ensuring that regulators can trace every automated decision during an inspection. The scope of CSV applies to any piece of technology that impacts product quality, patient safety, or the integrity of manufacturing data. This includes large-scale enterprise platforms like Laboratory Information Management Systems, known as LIMS, and manufacturing execution systems. It also extends down to the execution level, governing electronic batch records and analytical instruments operating on specialized software, like HPLC machines. If a digital tool touches any part of the product lifecycle, its accuracy must be mathematically proven and operationally sound. This flowchart illustrates the computer system validation lifecycle. CSV functions as a continuous, multi-phase loop, with the central data integrity lock anchoring every stage. Phase 1 is planning. Teams must define the system's exact scope, objectives, and personnel responsible. These details are compiled into a validation master plan, serving as the structural blueprint. Following this blueprint, we enter Phase 2, specification. Here, user requirement specifications dictate exactly what the system must achieve. From those user requirements, engineers draft functional and design specifications, detailing the exact technical methods the system will use to execute those specific commands. Without rigorous planning and explicitly documented specifications, the subsequent testing phases have no objective baseline to measure against. Moving to the right side of the lifecycle, we enter Phase 3, testing and qualification, where the system is physically built. This begins with installation qualification, verifying hardware and software components are installed to design specifications. Next is operational qualification. The system is tested to confirm functions work under normal limits and extreme stress conditions. Finally, performance qualification confirms the system delivers consistent performance in real-world environments. In Phase 4, the validation report phase, all test results are summarized before final sign-off. The cycle completes with Phase 5, maintenance and review, dictating that any future update is evaluated to maintain compliance. Validation is never truly finished. It requires active maintenance and periodic audits throughout the system's entire active life. This lifecycle relies heavily on specific foundational principles designed to protect the integrity of the data stored within these systems. The ultimate standard is the Alcoa Plus framework, ensuring all data is attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. Every system requirement must also follow traceability, explicitly linked to a corresponding test, and directly to a documented result. To manage this workload, the industry follows the GAMP 5 framework, which introduces a risk-based approach to validation. Under GAMP 5, a Category 3 simple spreadsheet requires minimal validation, while a Category 5 highly customized software suite undergoes rigorous, intensive lifecycle testing. The validation effort scales directly in proportion to the system's impact on patient safety and product quality. Across all categories, the golden rule of GXP compliance remains the same. If it is not documented, it did not happen. To see this in action, Consider a critical production scenario, an active pharmaceutical batch record system facing an unauthorized modification attempt. Because the system underwent rigorous CSV, it correctly captures the exact batch quantities required by the formula, while immediately blocking the unauthorized user from altering the data. Simultaneously, it automatically generates a permanent, immutable audit trail documenting the exact time and source of the failed intrusion attempt. Regulators enforce these capabilities strictly. In 2023, the FDA issued a warning letter targeting a pharmaceutical company specifically for failing to validate their laboratory information management system. An unvalidated system represents a critical regulatory liability capable of halting production entirely. The requirement to perform CSV is legally mandated by a strict framework of global regulatory guidelines. In the United States, FDA 21 CFR Part 11 sets the specific, enforceable standards governing electronic records and digital signatures. In Europe, EU GMP Annex 11 serves as the equivalent regulatory standard for all computerized systems used in pharmaceutical manufacturing. Globally, guidelines from the World Health Organization and the MHRA provide further harmonization to ensure international data integrity. Computer system validation serves as the primary shield protecting product quality. Proving the performance of these systems establishes the technical evidence required for regulatory confidence in automated pharmaceutical processes. Facilities must continuously evaluate their standard operating procedures and update their validation master plans to maintain inspection readiness. By executing a strict validation lifecycle, pharmaceutical companies guarantee that every digital tool in their pipeline remains trustworthy, legally compliant, and permanently prepared to defend patient safety.